All right. We are back and better than ever. Welcome to the TD Report, everyone. I'm going to talk to you tonight. We are here with TK, our host, and Cody,
Yo,
show
yo,
production, showrunner. Hey, Cody,
what's going on?
congratulations on that Oscar win, buddy. You're looking great, man. Everyone, we tease Cody because he kind of looks like Adrian Brody, who just won his second Oscar last night. And how was the lovely Miss Halle Berry, sir?
Oh, great, as always, as always.
Yeah. So if you weren't watching the Oscars last night, back when Halle Berry won, back when Adrian Brody won his first, he Halle Berry was presenting the award, and he gave Halle Berry this big kiss. She wasn't expecting it. So on the red carpet last night, on the post show walkout, she found Adrian Brody and ambushed him in front of his wife. So that was pretty good. I mean, it's not bad. Not bad work if you can get it. He's also kissed Beyonce in the movies, so I'd say Adrian Brody's doing pretty good.
He's winning, I guess. I mean,
He's a winner in life, yes, sir.
It's marry in front of your wife and still go home happy. I guess you're doing something.
You came home with an Oscar, another Oscar. I guess if I win an Oscar, if I'm married, I can kiss whoever I want. My wife won't get mad.
That must be
all right.
That's what that is.
So speaking of people in a great mood, let's talk about these Commanders fans. We're going to lead off the show with the big trade. Cody, why don't you go ahead and debut it on the show? All of our Commanders fans already know, but you go ahead and tell them what you're happy about, bud.
Oh, yeah, man, the Deebo Samuel trade. I mean, it only makes sense. Ever since he kind of requested the trade and they knew in San Fran that he wasn't going to play there, it was kind of written on the wall with the Adam Peters connection. The need for a wide receiver, that he was kind of a front runner to land in Washington. And we talked about it a bit in our group chat. I think it makes a ton of sense for him. I think Terry McLaurin can already break the top open on a defense. I think the problem of why he didn't, granted, he didn't do it as much as he could last year, but still did it more than he has done ever. But it's because he got a lot of attention. He got a lot of coverage out there with Diami Brown as the only other guy on the other side. Sometimes a rookie in Luke McCaffrey, or Zacchaeus. Whoever it may have been on the other side was not really a true wide receiver 2. But now I think we get a good low end wide receiver 1 to come in. I think the way Deebo works across the middle, he can pull some of these linebackers into coverage. He can beat a lot of these linebackers to make some good explosive plays. He's super physical, which is somebody that we need. And I think it'll, at absolute worst, open some running lanes up for Jaden Daniels. Not saying we want him to run, but it'll definitely spread the field. Now, I do hear a lot of hate coming, people saying that he's injury prone and da-da-da-da-da. I mean, the guy missed 2 games last year. He missed 2 games the year prior. So I think people should really take a look at the numbers before they start jumping into what they think is perceived by injuries. Really look at his numbers and see it's a great signing and a great move by Washington.
Mm-hmm. TK, what do you think about the Deebo Samuel trade as far as what it pertains to the Commanders, and throw in the financial side of the deal?
I just think that it worked. It's one trade that works well for both teams. I think both teams, accomplished their objective. Washington who does need another guy to take it off of Scary Terry. It just me. I mean, I like Deebo. I think he's a temporary fix to eventually what I'm in the business of saying that if you're shooting as the third best team in the conference, if we just want to talk roster, Washington is the third best team in the conference if you look at roster. So what do you do to beat Philly and Detroit? What do you have to do? You got to outscore them. Adding Deebo works. I'm in the thing to think that they need one more guy, because we're just not talking about winning 11, 12 games. We're talking about you're trying to win the Super Bowl. If that's your goal. If your goal is just to win a couple playoff games and be where they were this year, great. But
Right.
If you're trying to win the Super Bowl, you have to almost go all in now, and then wait until after you pay him and then piece together what works around after you pay him. But right now, while you ain't got to pay him, I'm going all in because this got nothing to do with my quarterback right now. If you go all in everywhere, you got 3 years. You got 3 seasons. All in without paying him. Add Debo. Add whomever on the wide receiver. Add whomever on the defensive side.
Debo is only temporary, like you said. He's only got 1 year remaining on his contract at $17.5 million that we'll take, which we have the cap space for. We have the money for. It's not really going to hurt us funding-wise, and I don't think we're going to re-sign him unless he has a legit sign-me type year.
Yeah.
But to that though, TK, I think they're really going to address some speed out of the slot in the draft. I think there is a lot of fast guys coming out of here, especially field fast. Maybe not necessarily translates to a 40 quite as much, but if you watch them play, are just, I mean, some of these guys look like lightning in a bottle on the field. And you don't necessarily need someone who's amazing coming out of that. You just need somebody with some breakout speed because you already got Terry and then Debo. Somebody with some phenomenal speed to spread that is.
Well, you saying speed, it was the fastest on record since they've been keeping it. It was the fastest running back group.
Yeah.
So your running back group, you know, I'm biased. Our little number 33 from Virginia Tech, you know, he hasn't been getting put in the top 5, but go back and look at the tape. When Tootin was healthy at Virginia Tech, we lost 0 games. We lost no games when he was healthy. It's when he went out. Why? Because he is that guy. That guy, Tootin, if he gets on 2nd, 3rd round with a team, and we were talking at the combine. I showed y'all the pitch. We were talking about, I was telling them the teams were perfect for him. First team I said to him was Buffalo Bills. Then I said the Washington Commanders. Then I said the scariest situation if somebody like the Ravens picked him up with that 4.3 speed. I said, you guys don't understand. He goes to one of those 3 teams, he could actually shift the balance of power because of his speed and because he doesn't have to carry it all the time. See, at Virginia Tech, he had to carry it all the time. So therefore, you get injured. But if you got a decent running back, and then you got this guy coming in at 4.3, and he plays like a 4.3. He doesn't just run it. He plays like it. He slips up and go to one of these teams. You may think that I'm biased because no. I sat there and on field, I watched him run in real games, and then I watched him run at the combine. Fastest time for a running back in years. 4.32? That's pretty damn fast.
Yeah. It was a clear 4.32, and not just the running back group. I saw a lot of wide receivers that ran some really good times. The 2 guys from Texas were both under 4.4. One of them down in the 4.29 area. I mean, there's some speed out there to be had. You know, if you want to pick somebody up in the draft, just like the Chiefs did with Xavier Worthy last year. You see what I'm saying? And then again, that's another Texas guy. So that's 3 guys from Texas that have really blown up at the combine running that 40. So, you know, one-stop shopping.
Can I say something to you and Cody? I was at the combine for the 3 days. It was 4-day combine. And the first day, Thursday, I think it was defensive backs. And then we got there Friday I think that, what was that? The Friday was the running backs, I think. Or Saturday was the running back. But Friday was running backs. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Saturday was running backs.
Yeah. So here's the point. On Sunday, yesterday when I got there, it was barely any people in the stands. It was barely anything. And I said on my post, I said, this is the most important group. Had nobody there, the offensive line. Let me explain that to you. The last 3 Super Bowls that the Chiefs were in, they had 0 sacks against Philly, the first Super Bowl, 0 sacks against San Francisco the second Super Bowl, and in this Super Bowl they had 7. So which one of the games you think they lost? And so that tells you how important the O-line. That big guy Campbell for LSU.
Will Campbell's a beast.
That dude is, and he looks so babyface regular. Man, I saw him get up out them stands and run that daggone. But he ran 4.98 as a left tackle.
He's a tackle. Okay.
Get up out that stands, and LSU is producing.
What's that, Cody?
He can play both, but he'll play tackle.
Tackle.
Yeah,
he's got the versatility to play guard, but I mean, let's be honest. He's going to want to play tackle because that's where the money is too. I mean, it is what it is.
Washington, I think at 29, Washington's probably going to be looking. And this is what I was saying back to addressing the wide receiver. I think they're going to be looking at a guy like Matthew Golden out of Texas.
He ran the 4.29, right?
You know what? I don't remember what his official time was. Let me see.
I think he ran a 4.29. He had the best time, right?
Yeah, the 4.29 was the best time because he ran.
I think that was him, wasn't it?
Oh damn! Yeah. Okay. So then, his official. So he definitely jumped up. He jumped up because he was falling towards like the later picks in the first round. Logging the best 40 time might jump him up, a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
If he falls, I think Washington will jump on it right away.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the Giants real quick and what their view was of the combine this year. What do you hear? What are you guys hearing? From New York in terms of what they might select.
Not much, actually. I mean, the only thing I've heard out of New York is they're looking at players like Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers right now to possibly come in and stay up for another year in New York.
So they want to go stopgap for a year, not draft a quarterback. So what they're saying is they think this quarterback draft is weak, even though they have a high pick. So they're going to use that pick on somebody else. So that could be a Travis Hunter type of selection.
I tell you,
I've heard a lot of Shedeur as well. These guys that they're looking at in free agency, like a Russell Wilson and an Aaron Rodgers, may be a very, very good position to sit on the bench and kind of help Shedeur. I don't think that they would mesh well with him. Personally, I don't think that's a good mentor. I think they can find a lot better players who are more suitable to his skill set as a quarterback.
Well, Cody, the meshing and all that other stuff, that doesn't matter. If you got somebody that's teaching them how to be I meant more as game style, not necessarily like personalities. I'm talking about like the way he plays. I think there's better quarterbacks that they can sign to help. There may be, but it's about the film work. It's about it's about the approach to the game. If you can get an Aaron Rodgers or a Russell Wilson and a Shedeur Sanders, and which they don't play alike, but if you can get that guy in there as a stopgap so that you can kind of protect your quarterback. See, the problem is Jaden Daniels has come out and did what he did.
Now everybody's
and all the quarterbacks that come out before them. So
Bo Nix came out and did great.
Sorry, folks. They don't make them like that. What the Redskins need to do is thank the New York Jets. Every year, you need to send a thank you letter to the Jets for kicking that 54-yard field goal and beating y'all and making y'all get the number 2 pick. So you guys need to thank the Jets every year, because without that, I had somebody try to tell me, and it wasn't up there because those guys know football. It was a Commander fan trying to tell me, well, if we didn't have Jaden Daniels, we'd have still been all right. I said, no, you wouldn't. I said, I don't know. They was like, oh, well. I said, do you realize y'all won 4 games? Y'all won 14 games with Jaden Daniels. 14. You won 4. And they was like, well, Jaden Daniels.
Without him, he would have still been like that?
They were saying that, I said, dude.
Hell no. See, man, I deal with these super fans all day long. half my friends that I in my immediate circle are super fans, and I argue left and right with them about just the craziest stuff that is said about football teams. And I'm like, the fact that you can even like say this stuff with a straight face.
Pardon your lips about that.
It's crazy.
To pardon your lips about that. So, saying that, now that you know that the quarterback is that position. Now, I sat there and I watched that ball jump off their arms from right there on the field. Then I went and got up a little bit to see the routes. I didn't care about the routes to the right side. I didn't care. I was checking them on everybody who's throwing backside outs. I am telling you right now, that quarterback from Ohio State is going to get some people fired. If
Will Howard.
Got to take him.
Oh, my God.
Will Howard.
He's not good.
No.
He had a disastrous. He had probably the worst day that we've ever seen. We had one of the worst days ever for the combine that we've ever seen.
He's not that good. Now, I will say, the little kid from Oregon, I like that little kid. Why? Because that little kid is fiery. That little kid is going to get with someone and doesn't look like whatever. He's a little small, scrawny kid like Drew Brees, who just so happened to be accurate and just find a way. It's just something about Dylan Gable. He will find a way. He will get with somebody. I'm not saying he's going to start as no rookie, but he can come in and be somebody's backup on some of these teams that I've seen right now. He can be backup right now in Cleveland, right at a drop of a dime.
I don't know if there is a backup in Cleveland. I think every backup in Cleveland is a starter. You need to be ready to play.
That's
Cleveland. I saw all the Commander people, and I made it a point, if they had a W on and they had Commander gear, I would say, congrats. And they all would say, thank you, with a smile on their face, simply because, folks, it's not about who you cheer for. It's not about that. When these people work so damn hard all the time, damn it, they deserve a season 2 with, the fruits of their labor, man. It's hard in the NFL. And if you sit there and just want to hate on this team or that team, look, we on this show, we speak fandom and we speak reality. Now, I'm going to speak to you on the reality side. The reality side is when you see people who've had a good season, whether you like the team or not, you say, congratulations. Now, I also saw Tampa people, and I started talking trash to them, and I said I'm from Washington, D.C. I didn't tell them I was no Cowboy fan. Immediately, they started going back at us. I'm like, y'all lost at home, so don't get it. And then I hit them at the end and say, by the way, I'm a Cowboy fan. And they said, oh, you didn't even make the playoffs, and blah, blah, blah. And they started going. I said, but we beat y'all on December 22nd. Boy, you should have seen them. They was hot. But, I get everything going because I enjoy the game. Whether I'm a fan of the Cowboys, whether I hate the Redskins, I hate the Eagles or the Giants, it's all good because these are people that are behind the scenes who are making stuff go that you never get a chance to see, and they're all at the combine. This is one big thing of making that team go. Director of analytics. Did you know there was a job? There's a job, director of analytics.
Yeah, every team has one. Almost every team has one. Usually, in the scouting department, the director of analytics. You've got your college development and advanced scout guy or whatever, and he or she has their own team. I mean, it's very sophisticated what NFL teams do right now in terms of how they innovate. And then, as we all know, the NFL is a copycat league. Okay, yes. A team that's not doing something, they see somebody else doing something, they have success. Everyone's going to want to try to copy that. That's another theme we're going to talk about later in the show. So, Cody, for the combine, we talked in production. Who was your biggest mover, either up or down, based on what they did, aside from Will Howard of Ohio State?
I mean,
Well, who do you think? Who do you think helped themselves a lot? Who do you think didn't help themselves?
I would say Matthew Golden is probably one of the biggest jumps. I mean, that's a shock surprise. No one had him moving that fast. No one had him moving that fast at all. I mean,
Nobody except Texas. They knew how fast he was.
With him going in the early second, a decent amount of going in the late first, a lot to Washington, and for him to run a 4.29. I mean, that'll skyrocket him to the top of the wide receiver board.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put it past that he's the second wide receiver off the board at worst.
So, Cody, when are you going to have your mock draft ready for the show?
Text your dad and tell him I'm on the show, Cody. Can you text your dad? Tell him we're on the show.
Yeah, no, you got to give me some time, man. I got
all right.
I got life is life, and so
yeah.
All right, that's cool. Well, listen, everybody that's watching the show tonight, we're gonna have a mock draft.
Yeah, birthday. Tell him I'm on the show.
Yeah, Cody's gonna give us a mock draft sometime this week or next week, but we'll let you guys know. Have a couple of people asking about it. Sorry, Cody. Yeah, Tony, it's happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, buddy. 55, man.
Drive 55, double nickel.
Today is also Florida's birthday.
Yes, it is. It's the birthday. It's the birthday of Florida, March 3rd. I always knew that.
Yeah. Like 103 years old or something like that today.
3. I'm 5'5". Hey, double nickel, baby. That double nickel. Yep. The speed limit. That's what it is.
So you were you in Denver for your birthday and then came back?
Dave, I've been to Denver, to Dallas, to Indy, back to Denver, back here to DC. Man, I got to go where I got to go to make things happen.
All right.
For the NFL, all the stuff that we're doing, don't quit. And what Bill Belichick say? No days off.
That's right.
When you're out here trying to make it work, baby.
Yeah, well, Bill Belichick's girlfriend is 26, so you don't have no days off when your girl is 26.
Oh,
and
no,
you
she's 24.
Good Lord, that's insane. Okay. Well, we want to definitely say thank you to happy birthday to TK, our show's founder. So let's talk about something else real quick before we get off of here. We want to send congratulations on a great career to Fox Sports' Jimmy Johnson. Coach Johnson sat on that set for 31 years as a broadcast analyst, did a great job at it. He's obviously more well known as a pro coach in Miami and then in Dallas, where he won 2 Super Bowls. And then prior to that, he was a coach at Oklahoma State. And then he was the coach at the University of Miami, where he won national championships there.
And prior to that, he won the national championship with Arkansas.
That's 2
as a player. That's right.
As a player with Jerry
He has a
Jones.
national title as a player, national title as a college coach, and Super Bowl championships as a professional coach.
And he's got 2 Hall of Fame careers, man, as a coach and an announcer.
Yeah, and he was one of the ones who called me when they decided to pick me up as a first year. As we were going down, was the first year that they closed the draft down to 7 rounds. So we were down to 12. So I projected anywhere between 5th and 12th. So as you get going, the people started to call you and see where you could land. My spot where I actually thought I was going was to Miami, but it was one problem. Miami had Dan Marino, and they never kept a bunch of running backs because they added wide receivers because that's all they did was throw the ball. So the only, secondly, had Joe Gibbs not retired, I probably would have been a Redskin because they have been following me a while. And I was really talking to them because I was their type of runner. I mean, especially with what they were doing with that line. But when Dallas called and I was talking to Jimmy, I'm on the phone with them and I'm like, I can't believe this is really him. You know, because you thinking just 2 months before then, I'm in the bar ready to fight everybody over the Super Bowl because Dallas was playing Buffalo. And now you in between that right there. And then when you get there, you meet him. He's such a hard ass. The training camp was probably one of the hardest things ever. And Jimmy would stay on your ass constantly. You got no break, especially if you was rookie like us. We got no breaks. We got nothing. But that's what they needed because those guys were divas if Jimmy's not there. But when Jimmy's there, oh no, they knew what they had to do. People don't understand. When everybody's like, well, Jimmy is important. Anybody can coach that team. No, anybody couldn't coach that team. Sometimes it's your way of doing things and how you roll and how they respect you that is involved in winning championships. Jimmy Johnson was that guy. Reason why we know that is because since he left, give me their record. Give me their record since they left.
No Super Bowls. No NFC championship.
They won one Super Bowl since he left.
Hold on.
And you can't give them that.
I don't count that one for Barry Switzer because that was Jimmy's team. He built it. The guts of that team, Emmett, Troy, Aikman, all of those guys, Jay Novacek, Michael Irvin, that was Jimmy's team. And really, it could have won 2 Super Bowls on autopilot. The issue I do give is the fall off after they won that Super Bowl the next year. They should have gone back. And that's basically when they fell off what is that, Tony, 96?
Yeah, but 96, you talking about you had Green Bay with Brett Favre. Then you had the Denver dynasty coming up. I mean, so would Dallas had still been winning? Dallas had 2 problems. They had Jerry Jones getting rid of Jimmy, and then they start having free agency with the salary cap and free agency came. So Dallas,
because Jimmy wasn't running it.
Without those 2 problems, when we talk of would have and could have and should have, they could have run off. But if we want to go back to would have and could have and should have, the biggest would have, could have, and should have happens to the Washington Redskins. Because if they draft Dan Marino, there's no 85 Bears. There's no jump with the Giants winning in 86. There's no 49ers dominating them. You would have given the greatest drawer, the best offensive line, and the best receivers, and one of the best. Yeah, Riggins. I could have played running back with that team if Dan Marino's throwing that way. He would have been throwing that ball with that damn line. So,
those wide receivers, I mean, yeah. They had Gary Clark, they had Ricky Sanders, they had Art Monk. They would have brought Marino. They would have brought Marino into that.
And along with all the H-backs that they had that we don't give credit to.
Terry Orr.
Shout out. So we can keep this. Scatterboo, do not put him at running back, just running back. He'll be out the league in 2 to 3 years. You need to move him to a H-back because you can't make your career running over top of people. That doesn't work.
Not anymore, no.
Unless you Dirk Henry or look, I stood up to Eddie George this week. Eddie George is still a physical specimen. That's not Scatterboo. And if that's not you, you can't run over top of people. Put Scatterboo in an H-back. Yeah, you put him back there sometime, but we're also going to get a mismatch here. You need to be able to use his athleticism from that position.
I think he should be like an Austin Eckler.
How tall is he?
What did they say?
5'11"?
5'10", 5'11"?
5'10". Hold on, let me see. But I
like 5'10", 230? 5'10", 230?
I don't know if he is he that big?
Oh, I just read, by the way, it just came out that Debo, remember last year when they were saying he was 20 pounds overweight and he wasn't going to say what his highest weight was. He got up to 226 and said.
He looks heavy. Debo
looks heavy, but the dude can play football.
Mm-hmm.
And see,
5'11".
Scatterboo's 5'11", what? 225? 235?
Oh, see, I don't know, because this shit says he's 5'9", unless he grew.
No, he's about 5'9", he's about 5'10", 5'11".
Anywhere from 5'9" to 5'11".
Whatever the combine say you are,
That's what you are. Yes. Now he got measured. He didn't run. He didn't run at the combine. He just did the vertical, right?
Yeah, 5'11", 216.
Oh, he can't. No.
All right.
Listen, Doc. Listen. Unless his style is running over people, you are not running over these dudes.
Not at 216. He's not.
No, not at 216. You need to add another 40 to that.
I don't think his game is going to be running over.
No, not as a pro. Not as a pro.
Yeah, he better. People in college, I think, was very opportunistic. Look at the people he was running over. They were tiny cornerbacks and little safeties. They were people he knew he was running over. You know
that ain't going to happen in the pro.
Who were they playing that game when he was running through? Who they lose to?
Texas.
They lost to Texas. Those weren't no small dudes he was running over at Texas. Those were
no.
pros.
He was.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he hasn't ran through people. I'm just saying that
he's not doing that in the pros. No, he's not doing that.
Cody, that is his game. He run through him, break tackle, and go. And I love the kid because I think he's probably one of the most athletic.
Feel the same way about Genty then, because Genty is
no.
Genty's break tackle and take off. He holds the record for them. Or there's only been 2 people who've ever came close to how many broken tackles.
Genty needs to be with the right team also. Now, Genty is like my guy from Virginia Tech. You get him with a team that already has a pounder, and when he comes in, you let Genty go to San Francisco. They're going to be right doing what they was doing. Let Genty get there and got McCaffrey, and McCaffrey all of a sudden won't be hurt, and then Genty be coming in the game, and you be wondering why San Francisco winning 14 games? Because San Francisco wins when their running game is top notch.
I'll be interested to see where you think he's going to go.
See, that's what I was going to say. I don't think he's going to fall this low, but if he makes
11, it's possible he can fall to 11.
Oh, I'm talking about 29. Okay.
Yeah, the 49's at 11.
I'm saying 29.
29.
Oh, no, y'all not getting him.
He won't be that. He ain't going to fall that far. No, I'll tell you what. If the 49ers don't take him at, 11? If he's there at 12, it's going to be really hard. They're going to have to take Jerry Jones' phone away from him because that's what Jerry might want to do.
I've seen him going lower than 11, though, in a couple.
See?
Well, he won't get past 12 because
he won't get past 12.
Dallas.
There's no way Jerry could resist.
I've seen a couple saying that if the Raiders miss out on Shedeur, they're going to take Genty.
Okay. Okay.
It's fine to be grateful you picking in the 20s.
Yeah.
Just be grateful you picking in the 20s because you got 2 teams in your division who mismanage. Y'all ain't got to worry about division, but Philly. 2 teams just terrible mismanage. Now, what you need to be looking at is pray to God Detroit doesn't get healthy because I tell the NFL, Detroit as a healthy team, I don't care about no Philly. I don't care about no Washington. I don't care about no Minnesota. Detroit, when healthy, with my man on the edge and them dudes healthy.
Hutchinson.
Yeah. Forget that. Ain't nobody beating them when they healthy. Now, that's just part of the game, right? You can't go. We talking about what ifs. I'm just saying when they're healthy, they're gonna beat anybody in this league. They
would love to have another shot at it. And guess what? Next year is coming. Is coming pretty fast. Yeah. When is the draft? It's April what?
25th.
April 25th. One thing I wanted to mention, we kind of glossed over it. There's a financial reason. Why Debo is coming to Washington and how that's going to help San Francisco. San Francisco has to sign Brock Purdy to what looks like to be a gigantic deal at quarterback, and they're going to need the cap space. Cody, did you have a breakdown on that? I think San Francisco is only picking up a certain amount of the salary, right?
Well, so Washington is assuming his final year at $17.5 million.
Okay, so they got the whole salary off
The whole
as
thing.
far as the 49ers. Yeah.
I think San Francisco is. I don't know. I don't think Brock Purdy's worth $50 million a year, and I think they're about to give it to him. And they're going to lose a hell of a lot of players, and when he's not surrounded by all those all pros, they're going to realize.
We're going to find out. We're about to find out.
No, stop. I had a guy argue with me. I'm on record. When San Francisco was rolling in 23, I said then Purdy wasn't that guy.
TK, we've been talking about it since day one. Since Purdy came into the game.
But no, everybody was just getting confused because they wanted to do Super Bowl. But then last year, when everybody went around and it wasn't around, and everybody started shitting on Purdy,
when it was
I
me,
was like, I didn't have to shit on Purdy.
David Jody in here, and we were talking about Purdy. We were saying it from day one. Purdy is not it.
No, Jody was talking about how good Purdy was and this and that and that and this.
Oh, no, he's a fan of him. He's a fan of him.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I was against it from day one.
No, everybody thought I was hating because it was San Francisco. One thing I do know, folks.
I'll pull up the tape because I said Purdy ain't for.
I will tell you. I will tell you when you're that guy versus when you're not. And when your team is carrying you or not. That team carries Purdy. Now, does he do great and he good with timing? Yes. But there's no timing when you only one-dimensional. And he has to beat you. Timing routes don't beat you then, brother.
No.
Not when they coming for you. You saw last year.
Yeah.
Dave, you found out who Purdy was, did you? Found out who he was.
This is when you and him were talking about it. When was this? This was
Dave.
December 23.
Yep.
And y'all were arguing about it, and I came in and gave a whole breakdown. I'm gonna respond to it and show you because I basically
Dave.
He's consistent with some of the greatest guys in skill positions in the league. Best left tackle in the league. His support, who supports him. Yeah. The second he's required to make massive plays, this was right after he threw that 4 interception game. Remember when he threw 4 picks in a game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dave, was I consistent about Purdy?
Yeah, we're going to see what happens. But I think you have to pay him.
You got to pay him.
I don't think you have a choice.
You have to.
I think you have to pay him, and you go back in the draft. You try to get a little younger. What's that?
So I understand paying him, but $50 million a year is overpaying.
He got a great resume, Cody. Listen, there's not many quarterbacks that got a resume better than his. A Super Bowl, 2 NFC championship games.
That's true.
What have you done? I mean, I don't know. I don't think a resume should garner you $50 million alone.
That's how you get paid, your resume.
Well, one thing we can say about the 49ers, everyone on the show, one thing we can say about the 49ers is that they do know how to pivot and come off of a quarterback and go to something else. You see what I'm saying? Because they've done it twice.
Ain't no pivot in here, Dave.
They got to do that now, so we're going to see if that's the case.
Yes. Yeah. If anybody can do it, it's the 49ers. They do a good job in their front office. But again, Adam Peters isn't there anymore.
Right,
so yeah, that's definitely high on the F around and find out list is, you think you can do it again, but the guy that did it, the mastermind behind it, he's in DC now. And
if you pay Purdy a $50 million a year deal, right?
Right.
You're losing Kittle. You're losing Trent. You just lost Debo. Brandon Ayuk's already talking about being traded because he can't get re-signed. Christian McCaffrey's damn near in a casket. I mean, that's 5 skill positions right there and your biggest protector that you can't sign, you don't have anymore just simply off your contract.
Yep.
As a football player, man, I don't know. Are you about your money or are you about winning?
You're going to have to retool. You have to retool through the draft.
You know what? I'm going to say it here, and I'm going to say it here. If San Francisco gives up on McCaffrey, he will come to Washington, and he will do exactly what Barkley did for the Eagles. If he gets away, he will come to Washington and he will have that season exact same way that Barkley had.
TK,
He will do the exact same thing.
TK, he's got Achilles tendonitis in both of his ankles.
But guess what?
Both of them.
Sometimes some people need a little change, and sometimes he may hit that right 8-month to 9-month time where he's healed. Who knows afterwards?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you,
that's just something
one.
Come back from it.
If he comes to Washington, I can see him doing the same thing that Barkley did. It's the exact same thing to me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he'd come here, but he will be pretty well coveted on the free agency market or possibly via trade. I could see him getting traded.
I bet you they talked about it during the trade when they went to go get Debo. I bet you they asked, was he available?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they did. And
I'm sure they did. Yeah.
Actually, he has Peters. The money that Washington has available, the need that they kind of have for a running back. It's not a desperate need, but I think they definitely upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
And
the relationship.
His brother's here.
And the relationship and the
relationships matter.
Yep, and his brother's on the roster, so he's got family on the team.
Relationships matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Relationships matter. And I am telling you, that would be my sneak of the thing, is looking at somebody like McCaffrey come over to the Skins.
Mm-hmm.
On the sneak now, because they may be like, we got all these other running backs. If they get Genty, let's say they got Genty. Oh, well, McCaffrey gone.
Oh, yeah.
McCaffrey gone. So who you think will bid for McCaffrey?
And you guys bring up the great point, how the pieces are going to potentially fit together. Deebo Samuel is the first domino. Deebo leaves the 49ers, okay? And it does send ripples throughout the league because within 48 hours of Deebo Samuel leaving and coming to Washington, the deal can't be consummated until the 12th. So we can't have a press conference until the 12th. He has to pass the physical. But in the interim, Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins gets franchise tagged. So that tells you right there, Washington was a potential landing spot for Higgins. Everyone knew this as a second receiver, as a number one receiver.
Al said Washington won't touch McCaffrey. I disagree.
I disagree too.
The person who did the deal is now in Washington.
Yep.
And I was talking to the guy, one of the scouts. He doesn't think Genty gonna fall to 11 because they were the ones who told me that they had number 11. I said, if Genty falls to you guys will be back. And I said, the key to you guys is y'all got to be balanced to keep the pressure off of Brock. I said, when y'all got to go one way, I said, then it's easy to beat San Francisco. I said, think about all the times when y'all win. Your running game was top. And when y'all don't have a running game, San Francisco can't win because they never had that quarterback that could really win the game by themselves. You need that guy. And the way they built with Purdy is great until you got to pay him.
Yep.
So let's talk about the T. Higgins deal. T. Higgins is going to get franchise tagged by the Cincinnati Bengals. Washington won't touch him now. He's that's 2 first rounders for T. Higgins now that he's been franchised.
Oh, no.
He's not coming. He's not coming here. Washington's not giving up 2 first rounders for T. Higgins, but that would have been an interesting free agent signing had we been able to get him to come here. That would have been very interesting.
It was only going to be an option for a sign. It was never going to be a trade option. If they're going to trade for anyone and give up that amount of capital for any player, they're going to
no.
Because Miles are 2 firsts by the way of what Cleveland is saying, and to be honest, I don't think. I mean, it's such a tough call for me, man. I feel like he's going to take a hell of a lot of capital and a hell of a lot of money, and then you got to re-sign him on top of it the same year. Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
You know what? I see him pulling a Reggie White type stuff, going to somewhere like Green Bay or Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know, because he probably
he already
is that
said
one piece
go somewhere
that
that's-
makes them an elite team.
He said the only place he wants to go is somewhere that's already a contender. 'Cause
Oh, wait,
He's
what?
already contended.
already a contender. He wants to win a bowl,
Well,
man.
all those teams are contenders. They all won 12, 13, 14 games.
Hey, how about Denver? Be a nice spot for him.
Peyton would love that. Sean Payton.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of a deal. I would like that. I would like to see that.
I don't
And
think
they
he
have a
goes
good
in the
defense.
AFC because of how good he is. I think he comes to an NFC team. So I will put Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit, Washington, Philly. No, he damn sure ain't going to ball. They're not trading their best player over to their division rival. Man, if these dudes do that, then everybody need to be fired, man. What we doing? Saquon Barkley, Shayshawn Barkley will stop all that.
He better not.
Thanks to the text, Keith Kelly says Detroit is the destination.
He better not.
He's going to say Detroit is the destination for Myles Garrett. Now
Yeah,
that would
and
be
that's the
interesting.
Him and Aiden Hutchinson coming off the side. No.
Oh,
That's going to be nasty. No, that's going to
Jesus
be.
Christ.
That's,
Quarterback-
that
nobody's
offense-
blocking that. Yeah,
With that
nobody's blocking
offense,
that.
listen, man, I'm telling you right now, man, Detroit's offense, I love them dudes. Them dudes get back there and they go. I mean, they will run it up on you. The only reason why they didn't run it up on Washington is because they had a dude, number 5, who threw some of the best passes in the history of this damn game. He was throwing passes so well that he couldn't go 2 feet from them and drop it to him that good. That thing he threw, that dime he threw on that post corner right by the end zone, dude, that's probably one of the best things on the move I've ever seen in my life. And I was cheering against them. So I know
Jaden,
when I saw that, I was like, man, you got to be kidding me, man.
Jaden Daniels played out of his mind. He was great.
All the rest of those games meant shit to me. That game against Detroit, because I knew they were dogs. And when he did what he did to them, I said, dude, I just took my hat off and said, man, no. It becomes a time where you have to look in the mirror and you have to do a daily affirmation. Tony, that motherfucker is that guy. And that's what you have to do.
You're talking about the throw to McLaurin, right?
No, the throw that he hit, it was a post corner, right? And he got tackled on the 5. Who was the guy? Not Diame, was it?
Was it Diame? It was Diame Brown.
It was Diame. Yeah, it was Diame.
Diame Brown. I remember that.
That throw right there, man. That man, come on, man. You just don't make those throws. You double covered like that. Come on, dude. I mean,
it was the read.
I got a picture of that. Diame had to do his hand in his face
in his face. Yeah.
Running and still caught the ball.
Because he got used to it hitting the body.
It was a handoff.
It was just put your hands out, and Jaden
it was a handoff.
Blind man's hands.
Yeah. Hey Tony, have you ever seen that? Hey, have you ever seen that movie called The Sandlot, where he told the worst kid on the team to just put your glove up, and he hit the ball and hit it right to his glove?
He caught.
That's what it was.
Just open your hands. Just open.
I remember watching that. Look, I was at a sports bar. I remember watching that, and there were a lot of obviously a lot of Commanders fans there, a couple of Lions fans, and everybody in the bar said, "Holy shit, he caught it." That was a great, holy crap, because he did not see that football.
No.
There's no way. Okay. And look, shout out to Diame Brown. He's not much maligned, but you would think that maybe he was getting passed over and all of that stuff because of what happened when he got drafted here. But hey,
I think he's
you think he's going to be what?
In Pittsburgh.
Diame? You think that's where he ends up?
Yeah, I think
okay. So. Yeah, there's only one problem. Who's going to be throwing him the football? Because it won't be Justin Fields and it won't be Russell Wilson.
And you know what?
Fields.
Huh?
Why not Justin Fields?
Because they all want 1-year deals.
They're all on one. I thought they were.
think
I think Fields has one more. No, Fields is on a rookie deal, so I think he still has another year on it.
No,
Yeah.
I think that what
I
they
think he's
signed
still
him
under
was
contract.
for a 1 year
Fields
deal,
is under
wasn't it?
contract. That was a trade. That was a trade.
Yeah, Fields was traded for like a fifth.
Hey,
Yeah.
y'all see, Eagles released Darius Slay.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Slay is coming off. Slay comes off the cap, and teams that need cornerback help, he's still pretty good. He's still good. You got to jump. Why don't we call that a show? And let's talk about maybe getting that mock draft whenever you can get it, Cody.
Yeah,
But
I'll have
yeah.
it sometime next week. So
folks, we back. So
Yep.
you know, hey,
Regular
RX Sports
schedule.
will be the one hosting everything. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for telling happy birthday. I'm 55, baby.
Appreciate it.
55.
Thanks, TK.